Hello, this is Matthew Cersley, the Agorist tax advisor. I am an attorney who helps people save money on taxes by planning ahead. Now, if you made $450,000 last year and wrote a check for $125,000 to the IRS, I want you to understand something. That was not inevitable. That was a strategy problem. You didn't plan ahead, and that's why you owed that money. You know, you owed that money. A lot of people earn a lot of money and then they overpay their taxes because they don't do anything that the tax code allows them to do to mitigate those taxes. Now, as I said, I'm an attorney, not a CPA. That matters. That matters for a couple reasons. One, I'm not just a numbers guy. I'm not just somebody who sits there and tells you what you owe in taxes. I'm an attorney who does research, who understands the tax code, and who knows how to use the tax code so that you legally pay the least amount you possibly can to the government. Now, here's the big problem with taxes. The tax code is massive. No one has read the entire tax code. No one can read the entire tax code because there's so much of it and it changes often enough that you wouldn't be done with it by the time new changes came in. But here's the thing, only about 1% of the tax code says you pay tax. It's about 99% of the tax code that says unless. You don't pay if you do this. You don't pay if you do that. You don't owe the same tax if you do this. Now, if you're a high earning individual, whether you're a W-2 employee or have a business, and you're paying a lot in taxes, again, it's not just because you make more, it's because you're reactive. You earn, you file, you pay. The people who save money on taxes are the people who have a proactive strategy, who are doing things now in 2026 to save money in 2027. Most people think their CPA's job is to help them save on taxes, but really, when you hire a CPA, almost all the time, all you're doing is hiring them to accurately report what happened last year, not to change what's going to happen. That's the critical difference. That means you're going to keep overpaying your taxes until you work with a strategist. So let's talk about some real world examples. Say you've got two people with businesses and they earn $450,000 net profit in their business. Man two doesn't have a strategy. He just works hard, makes a lot of money, gives everything to a CPA, files taxes. Man two has a strategy. He hires his two kids in the business, legitimately, legally, paying them a fair wage. He goes through the process to designate his business as an S corp instead of Schedule C to save money on self-employment tax. He invests in real estate with his wife and takes advantage of bonus depreciation on the purchase. By doing so, he still makes $450,000, but on his taxes, he only earned $300,000. That first man is going to owe about $135,000 to the IRS plus something to the state. That second man, it's about $80,000. That planning saves him $55,000. It's not that hard as long as you plan ahead. But here's the thing. It's not that the tax code treated them differently. It was their planning. It was their planning that meant that the tax code had different results for them. I help lots of people set up these strategies. Many of them are for businesses, such as S Corp and hiring kids in your business, but anybody can invest in real estate. Anybody can invest in certain other tax advantage investments and save money on taxes. If you're making three, four, $500,000 a year, W-2 or business owner, people like me can help you keep a lot of that money in your pocket. But again, you need to work with a tax planner, not just an accountant. Because while there are a few accountants who are tax planners, the vast majority of them are just historians. You need to work with somebody who's going to build the future with you, not record the past. Now, it's not the CPA's fault. It's how the profession is structured. They're taught, be safe, be right, be conservative, make sure their numbers are right. Don't do anything that's unusual because if you do and it goes wrong, you're in trouble. Now, obviously, I want to make sure everything I do on someone's taxes is correct, but when you can think outside the box, you can save a lot more money on your taxes. So, paying taxes is about income, but overpaying your taxes is because of lack of strategy. If you want to know specifically what you're leaving on the table, you can talk with me about doing a tax savings assessment where we map out exactly what a strategy or strategies we could take in your situation to save you as much money as possible. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.